seeing Pat Williams and Steve Hardy, Jerry Duham. I mean, when I was a real little youngster, and I mean a youngster, Jerry Duham was one of the big stars over at Southport. I mean, I got to be truthful about it. And so to see all the wonderful people here, before I leave, I'd like to talk to the Ellis family for a moment. I definitely want to talk to Mr. Brown, but what a wonderful turnout. And Ted's kind of put me on the spot, and I appreciate him doing this. He's given me the great honor to present this trophy, and it says to the Edgewood Elementary School basketball all-time leading scorer, Mr. Bob Wayman. Do you want to come up and get this?
Yeah.
Through all the research, Bob Wayman scored more points at Edgewood Elementary than anybody.
All the books and we
all of them.
Bob Wayman.
Oh, wow.
I can't go single season, but I can go total.
You can drink out of that.
Yeah, that's what it
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The very first thing I'd like to say is to Ted and Barry and Fred and Bobby, thank you very much for putting this event on. It's fantastic. Mr. Ellis, I heard you say when you were speaking up here about the family. And I'm not going to take very much time, about 3 minutes, and I'll tell you a little story. My dad was born right over there on Madison Avenue. His mother was Ma Wayman, and they had Ma Wayman's chili parlor. And on that corner was Dr. Ludwig, Frank Koski, and back in the old days it was Rudy Rail on the other side, but those four people, George Dudgeon, and that was where he grew up. In 1920, my dad came to Edgewood Grade School and went here. I was born in 1938, and in 1945-44, I entered Edgewood Grade School. And I'll tell you something. I walked around this community, Mr. Ellis, and it was a community. And everybody, Frank Koski, Rudy Rail, hi Bobby, hi Bobby. It was amazing. For me to grow up in this area was a real blessing. I'll tell you another story about Frank Koski. Somebody mentioned that Frank Koski started professional basketball, and he did. Professional basketball started right here in this community. In 1940s, I carried the Indianapolis Times, and I carried it to all of the areas in here, riding my bicycle. And one of the people I carried the Times to was Frank Koski's house down there on South Shelby Street. And behind his house, Frank had a big barn back there. And over a couple of years, Frank put a basketball floor in there, a gold and a gold. And he gave me a key, and he said, Bobby, anytime that you want to go shoot baskets, here's the key to the door. Now listen to this story. You're not going to believe it. One day, one afternoon, I took the key and opened the door and I walked in. I was shooting baskets. And who do you think walked into there and started playing basketball? For the old timers, you'll remember this. Lou Grossa, Ralph Beard. My God, it was unbelievable. Those were the first people that Frank Koski recruited for his basketball team. And I got to play basketball with them. That's where I learned how to shoot. But it was amazing. It's an amazing community, and it was an amazing area to grow up in. You all talk about Pete Bailey. Yeah, Pete got a hold of me one day, and he said, Bob, he said, I know your mom and dad got divorced, and they're having a hard time buying your lunch. He said, I got a job for you, right over here. When you get off the bus, you walk downstairs into the boiler room, and you fill both hoppers full of coal. And I did. And I got a free lunch for 4 years.
Oh.
Pete Bailey. The last thing I'd like to say is to the Son of God, the Cat Man. In my life, I did a lot of things, coaching, teaching, had a real estate office, but that man, Howard Cat, I'll never forget. When we had homeroom, there was 30 students in the class, and every student had a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You had to get up during homeroom, and you had to make a speech. What am I going to do in my life? Giving your ideas of what you want to do. Howard, you were a great teacher, and you were a great coach. And I want to tell you something. I started telling you a while ago a story about what happened at Bluff Avenue when we were playing in the final game at Franklin Township, and you told me, you said, Bobby, I told you to get in there and play center. And everybody forget whirligig and da-da-da-da-da. Throw the ball to Wayman, fake one way, and shoot it the other. And you were right. I scored 25 points that game, and you saw the flaw in the defense. You're amazing. You caused me to get this. God bless everybody. Thank you. I'll never forget one thing special about Edgewood. How many of you remember the hollow tree? God bless.